Hello everyone, welcome to the Concern Podcast, where we unpack political, social, economic, and cultural stories shaping our world. I am Emmanuel Taban. Now, the leader of the National Democratic Movement, the NDM, and that is Dr. Lam Akol is protesting against a deliberate decision by the state-owned broadcaster, and that is SSBC, for having failed to follow an agreement of airing a pre-recorded interview that they had with the chairperson of the NDM, that is Lam Akol. And initially, Dr. Lam Akol, who is the leader of the NDM, made a pre-recorded interviews with the state-owned broadcaster, South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation, and that interview was done on the 12th of February. And according to the agreement, the SSBC was to air that interview on the 17th of February around 9:30 p.m. Central African time. But unfortunately, SSBC failed to air that interview at that specific time, and they failed to adhere to the agreement they initially had with the chairperson of the NDM. And now Lam Akol tried to reach out why this was not done on the scheduled date, but efforts were not positive. He tried to reach out to the Minister of Information, Telecommunication and Postal Services, that is Honorable Atene. And according to the information he got from Atene had promised him that the interviews would instead be aired on the following day, that is the 18th, and that the interview was being cleared by some security agencies and possibility of some information that is not wanted. But Atene promised that the interviews will be aired on the following day, that was on the 18th, because the original day was supposed to be on the 17th. But then on the 18th, the Honorable Minister promised him that the interview would be aired on the 18th, of which again it failed. And he tried to reach again back and forth, but it wasn't positive. There wasn't positive results, and the minister ultimately failed to answer the subsequent follow-ups. Now, it's very interesting. And for those who know Lam Akol, he was the Minister of Transport, and in November last year, he was removed as the Minister of Transport and replaced by a new guy. I think that is Lam, who was the former SG of SPLM party. He is right now the chairperson. Lam Akol is right now the chairperson of the NDM, the National Democratic Movement. But early this month, there was some kind of conflict within the NDM, the National Democratic Movement. We all know that the NDM is a member of the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, which is signatory to the peace agreement. But earlier this month, there was a kind of conflict within NDM, the National Democratic Movement, where a section of the party leaders tried to remove Dr. Lam Akol from the party leadership position, saying he was practicing some kind of tribalism and nepotism, employing some people who were related to him, making them to be representative in the National Assembly, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, so today Lam Akol is protesting against the decision taken by the state-owned broadcaster or media house, SSBC, for failing to air the interviews that they recorded earlier, which was supposed to be aired on the 17th, but then promised by the minister that it will be on the 18th, but again, it didn't. They didn't air it out on that day as well. So the major content of that interview, according to Lam Akol, they mainly discuss issues to do with the democratic transition and the issues to do with the elections and the peace agreement. And these were some of the stuff they basically discussed in that interviews, of which he thought wouldn't be any threat to, but I mean that the government wouldn't consider it as a threat to be aired out on the state-owned broadcasting corporation. But one thing that is bringing a lot of worry is, the fear that I don't know the intention of the government of failing to air out that interview of Lam Akol. Could it be because of some technical issues, or there was a deliberate move? Because Lam Akol said he reached out to some of those guys who actually conducted the interviews, but the guys told him that these are orders that are coming from above, so they have nothing to do with that. So that means the orders to actually pause or not to air out the interviews of Lam Akol comes from above. But what is the purpose of, of doing this? Because if someone just have an interviews that has no threatening words in it, then why not just air out according to the agreement that he had? I mean, it's fair to allow people to have their own take on some of the things that they feel should be done in the country. People like Lam Akol, these are seasoned politicians. They have gone through much of the years the country has been in, and therefore perhaps they possess some of the their side of the story on how they want the country to be run. So providing them that platform, it's a kind of a fair. I mean, it's fair. We know SSBC is a state-owned media, so but it doesn't mean that the government has to sabotage some of their opponents from having access to these media houses. I mean, they should respect professionalism. The media houses should have been independent, even if they are owned by the state. This is just like any other state-owned corporation. So SSBC should have operated independently without influence from any state apparatus. But it is unfortunate that it's not the thing that is happening in South Sudan. And I think this should worry many people about the freedom to express themselves freely and in whatever platform they feel it's okay for them. So we all know that SSBC perhaps in the country has more viewership than most of the other media houses. So it will be very fair for someone in names of Lam Akol, if he wants his information to reach out to the wider population, for it to be passed through SSBC. But it's unfortunate that it didn't happen. His interview, his pre-recorded interview, was not actually cleared or was not given the chance to be aired out on SSBC. So that is unfortunate. And I feel this is something that the government needs to look into, that some of the state-owned corporations, some of the state-owned, especially the media, need to be free from government influence, free from state machinery, and that in that way people can have the freedom to actually express themselves freely. So that is that is my take on that issue of the leader of the National Democratic Movement, that is Lam Akol, who is protesting against the deliberate decision by the state-owned media company or media corporation, the SSBC, for failing to actually adhere to the agreement they initially had to air out his pre-recorded interview, which is supposed to be done on the 17th and promised subsequently by the minister for 18, but it failed again. So thank you guys. Write down in the comment section what you think about that. Until next time, I'm Emmanuel Taban, and this is the Concern Podcast. Before we close today's episode, here's a quick message from our sponsor, Wanit.co. If you've been planning to build a website but the cost has been holding you back, Wanit.co makes it affordable and stress-free this time around. Whether you are an individual, a non-profit organization, or a business, Wanit.co designs professional websites starting from as cheap as $250. Individuals can actually launch with a starter website of up to 7 pages and a free email, or choose an advanced option with unlimited pages, a professional portfolio, and branding support. For non-profit organizations, they can select flexible packages from basic websites to premium solutions with e-commerce features and ongoing support. And for business companies, Wanit.co delivers company-ready website with hosting, staff training, and multi-link options and online stores. And the best part of it is actually that you can build your dream website within your budget. Wanit.co is an affordable, accessible, and professional partner. And to get started, you can actually visit Wanit.co or email them at info@wanit.co, or you can get in touch with them through their WhatsApp number at +1 226 504 3322. Wanit.co, proudly affiliated with Jobs to Apply. And if you're wondering of what I'm talking about, here are some samples of website created by Wanit.co. You can see them right here.